What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs' recent roster moves ahead of Toronto's opener on Wednesday against the Ottawa Senators at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, of course. They needed to make some moves because they're going to be messing around with the cap a lot, and they also had a lot of extra forwards from training camp and defensemen as well. So we're going to be looking at some moves that they made. So the Toronto Maple Leafs announced a series of transactions today. The following 4 players have been placed on waivers for the purpose of being reassigned to the Toronto Marlies. Kenny Augustino, that's an interesting one. I thought for sure that Augustino would have a really good shot at making this team, but he's probably one of those guys, if he clears waivers, that he'll be a call-up if there's an injury. Knock on wood, we don't want too many of those. We already have some with Hyman and Dermott. The next guy, Kevin Gravel, impressed some people, but a guy that's going to be depth for the Leafs on that blue line for the Marlies. Nick Patan, this one is surprising a lot of people. He was a guy that was in and out of the lineup last year when Toronto acquired him. I don't think him and Babcock really get along. If I was to make a guess here, this is not, facts. But last year, it was tough for him to be a staple in the lineup. This year, it looked like he would have a chance in camp to play on that fourth line. But until, a guy like Hyman comes back, somebody's going to be bounced down. And right now, it looks like Dmytro Timashov is going to be on that fourth line, or at least an extra if Nick Shore ends up playing games. But one of those guys will get bumped down. It'll probably be Timashov. So it looked like Nick Patan didn't really have that great of a shot to stick with this team, regardless of if there was a spot with him, because I don't know, there was rumors that Babcock kicked him off the ice last week because he wasn't skating hard enough. So Nick Patan and the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't exactly at the best of terms. If I was to make a guess here, Nick Patan's going to be on the Marlies unless he gets claimed, and I think there's a chance he does. He's a speedy guy. He can play. I don't know. Garrett Wilson, that was just some injury trouble for him, and we haven't really got a good look at him, so he is going to be down there with the Marlies for sure. Igor Korshkov, who impressed a ton of people, including myself, had a shot at being at that bottom line as well. He might be a guy that gets called up if the Leafs are looking for some size and they're going on a road trip. I would think that he'll be a guy that could get called up. He impressed in the preseason. He's going to the Marlies. Kale Casilla and Mason Marchment have been designated on injured non-rostered players, or designated as injured non-roster players. Casilla, again, we haven't really got a look at him. And Marchment, again, another guy that the Leafs thought could be on that fourth line because he's big, he's tough, he can, put up some decent points. He's not the slowest guy out there. He would have been probably a Babcock favorite on that fourth line. So until we see him healthy, the Leafs definitely want to get a look at him. So you might see him get in some games just to see how he looks. I'm sure he'll get some games with the Marlies as well. Matt Reed has been released from his professional tryout, his PTO, and has signed a 1-year AHL contract with the Toronto Marlies. So that's good to hear. Matt Reed is a guy that's more depth for the Leafs, and this Marlies team is probably going to be like Steve Dangle, his podcast, they were talking about it. They said it was going to be like Dangle said it could be stacked. And, Adam was quick to say, they'll be good. Like, I expect them to be good. But I honestly do believe they're stacked because there's a lot of guys that could be playing on that Leafs fourth line that are going down to the Marlies, and a lot of guys that have impressed. So all this is going to do is allow the Leafs to see more guys in that minor league system that can potentially be Leafs in the next couple of years, or be valuable assets to them if they have to make a move down the line to get rid of a contract, or to acquire another prospect or a piece or a pick that they need to. So I'm definitely okay with those moves. So that means currently the Leafs roster will look like this. Now, Kristen Shilton tweeted out the lines from practice this morning, and of course she's saying Kapanen, Tavares, Marner on that first line, Janssen, Matthews, Nylander, no surprises. Again, with the third line, Mikheyev, Kerfoot, Moore. Mikheyev has looked great. That obviously means he's made it on the team on the third line. I would expect that he would probably stick around there, and when Hyman comes back, we never know what's going to go on there, but the team looks pretty good with him on the third line. Timashov, Spezza, and Gauthier, a lot of people were speculating if Spezza and the Goat would split time, or they would just play on the same line. I think that Babcock likes the Goat in the lineup, so having him and Spezza take reps at center, whatever zone they're in, whatever side, it's good to have another guy out there that can take those draws. Dmytro Timashov on that fourth line until Hyman comes back. He's a guy that could get sent down. And then, of course, Shore is there as the extra forward, and he might end up being a guy that gets some reps in if Timashov isn't working out or if somebody else isn't working out. On defense, no surprises for the top pairings with Riley and Cece, Muzzin and Barry, and Rasmus Sandin and Martin Marincin. They look like that's going to be the bottom pair. Timothy Liljegren and Justin Hall are both still up. Timothy Liljegren will be sent down before the season starts. I know a lot of people are reading into this and thinking, wow, Timothy Liljegren made the team. He's going to be sent down to the Marlies right before their game because they have to be cap compliant. They're trying to get as close to the cap, as close as to the deadline as they can. So I'm guessing Timothy Liljegren will be sent down, and there might even be a chance that Shore gets sent down as well. I don't know if they'll have one extra guy or two because of the cap. Like, they're going to be very tight to the cap. You're going to see Brandon Pridham and Kyle Dubas making a lot of moves to shift that stuff around. And of course, the goaltending, Anderson and Hutchinson. No surprise, Freddie's going to be the starter, and Hutch has won the backup position. He played some really good games, made some big saves when he needed to. He had a bit of a rough start to his preseason, but it looks like he's won the job. Tough break for Michael Neuwirth. I guess he was injured or sick or whatever. He was released from his PTO, of course, a couple days ago, or like 3 or 4 days ago. I was kind of hoping that would work out because as a backup, his career numbers aren't bad, but Michael Hutchinson has won the job. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'm going to be doing a Maple Leaf season preview probably tomorrow, put that out, but this is just the roster moves that they've made. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Let's try to get to 7,000 subscribers. I talk about all NHL teams, so if you're not a Leafs fan and you're just watching this video, make sure to check out all my other videos. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.